morning, everybody. It's always a privilege to do these sessions because that's my core part and very close to my heart to how I can spend time for an awareness. Because I also believe everything would start for the first awareness and then it will start implementing. And this is a height of coincidence. Yesterday, I did actual three customers retirement planning for how they should do it. Actually, retirement planning comes into two parts. So today, I'll be taking the first part. One is what are the smart investment strategy to make sure you have going to be having a good retirement. But yesterday, what I did was people who made the money and they wanted to do how I'll do payout for their retirement. And yesterday was the first time somebody told me, why you're taking a longevity till 85. I wanted till 100, and it was a very surprising. Normally, people tell me 85 is too long, Rachna, why you're taking till 85. But yesterday, I did a cash flow till 100, and it was a very nice feeling that yes, somebody still wanted to make a cash flow till 100, and I hope she lives till 100. So today's session is going to be if I have a dream retirement, quotes unquote, how you define a retirement. So I'm going to take a details part on those part on how you define retirement. What are the things you should explore while doing the retirement planning? These data I have searched quite a lot, done research some of them. There is a recently the research with the data has come by the Sun Life and JP Morgan. These are the two research report which I'm going to utilize the highest. This is of course the first time I'm going to do that research part in this presentation. And this is maybe a little bit more linked to Western side. So I have converted little bit to the Indian scenario, but the research of the human beings is the same. What are the things we should look at across? And I consider myself as retirement or retired life myself. So it is how you define, it's going to have the best of it. So for me, retirement is where you don't have a pressure in your mind of the number of hours you are going to work, or my work is linked to my income. So I have alternative income which is coming. So you are doing what you love to do. So it's not the previously, if you ask our parents' age or our one generation minus, they will say, oh, retirement is at 60, and that's where I will start watching movies or a TV or read the newspaper for 10 hours and go with my friends. So everybody have a different ways. To me, retirement is do what you love to do, irrespective of thinking that you have to go for a work and you have an alternative income. So of course, the research, what I'm going to tell is a little bit on financial and non-financial also. But the focus today is going to be what I should make sure that I will be able to sustain my current lifestyle even if I'm not working. I'm working maybe as a NGO, I may be working as doing something good. So last week, some of my friend called me and said, Rachna, tell me my portfolio is good enough to retire tomorrow. And as usual, the God grace, our age, whatever I have a customers whom I know of, it's like we are much more than what portfolio is. So they are over and above achievement on the retirement plan, because I keep telling people that it's our mindset is still is a middle class, even you have a more money. Even somebody asks us to spend money, they may not be able to spend money. So on an average, people ask around 1 to 1.5 lakhs a month, maximum 2 lakhs a month. And for that, you may require around 5 to 6 crores. If you have 6 crores, you are able to take the things, means you can retire or maybe come out from the corporate life. So I said, what you like to do? So my always first question to anybody who comes for retirement planning is not how much money you have, you can sustain money or not. How you are planning to take care of your time is very, very important, because that is going to derive you for the next 20, 30 years. So these are the points I'm going to give it today when you are thinking of investments or you're thinking of retirement planning. Think beyond even the financials. So this is the typical thing, the definition of how you define the retirement. So Anil Rego, who is the founder CEO of Right Horizons, good, bad, ugly. He's my husband also, so I know him much more before the Right Horizons done. So he has written the book called "I Lost All Our Money," and people used to come, and because of the cover book, people used to say, "Oh, is it that you?" So I said, "No, no, that's not me." But yes, he was very clear. So I know him from the college or just 12th standard onwards. So I he was very clear that I wanted to go out by 35 and start my own. And I'm talking about 2000, means when we were together, it will be 1990 type. And that time there's nothing called startups or anything has come, but he was very clear he wants to go out and start his own. So he used to tell that by 35 I should have the that much of corpus that it takes care of the house alternatives. So I don't have to worry about it ki I have to work something. And he made very clear, achieve 5 years in advance that corpus was required to run the company house. And he started the Right Horizons 5 years early. And that's what he still says, that he is on a retirement mode, even though he may work 18 hours. But that's what his passion is all about, and he tried to work. So same things, retirement is a different for everybody. So we need to define in advance. You can't say that, okay, I want to retire at 50 and you're talking about 45. So it may be possible. I'm not saying that a person who is in 45 cannot retire at 50. If they have already good corpus, they can do it. But it takes time. And that's the way I always say is we should strategize to make sure that we are able to define our goal. What is my retirement? When I wanted to retire? How much money I required? And what I will do after that? I got all the money, but what I'll do after that? That's very, very important part of it. So define your own retirement. You will think about how I can plan, how I can have the smart way of working, all those things we can think of. But when I go, I do a lot more corporate. Coincidentally, this week I had a three corporate webinar, and I was speaking on, one is on tax efficiency, another one was a retirement and financial planning. Whenever I go and speak, the best part, and that's what I love this job is all about, because you meet a lot of people, and which we learn quite a lot from each person, whoever we met. So most of the people always says retirement is so far, why I should work now? At least let me enjoy today, let me have the best of the todays. And that is the actual reason I feel sometimes it's taking longer time to achieve the retirement, because you will surprised to know that when you start planning on a retirement early, your power of compounding works too high, and your comfort comes much bigger. So that is the one of the reason I always tell a people, we are not so privileged like our parents, where most of us will find it out they used to get a pensions. And I used to fight with my dad, and of course, in the good way, fighting that he was an army person. And I used to say that your pension is more than what you used to earn, because every second year they will have a DA basic increase and all the stuff. So they were privileged and they were not able to even spend what they used to get the pension. But none of us is going to get pension. And you have to start realizing how the things happening across the globe, they are struggling, the countries are struggling to manage those retirements. You see China, you see Australia, you see the US, all those funds, even UK itself, Europe itself, they're not able to manage now. Government is telling that we cannot manage, you increase the age. I was there in US a week back, and lot of time, of course, that's my always love to meet people. So I was meeting there, the maybe most of them are Indian citizen, second generation, first generation kind of it. And they were saying, Rachna, I don't know why you all are doing retirement at 35, 40, 45, 50. That is a new trend is happening in India. We hear is talks about, okay, we have to work till 65, 70 or 75. Okay. That's the way people nowadays talk that side. And we are actually still, I feel we were privileged to have that. We have enough support. We have enough, I think so, financial. We are doing good. We can have can plan to even retire at 35 or 40 if we are able to do the strategies right when we start working from the start one. So some facts and figures I'm going to say, which is a thought provoking. My webinar, why I do webinar is to make people aware. And even my thought is, even one person start executing wherever it is, that person's life has changed. And that's where I keep telling the facts and new learnings, what I do to expand and try to sharing the current, which is live customers testimonial, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel, so we can learn from others and do it. So we, when the 7 out of 10 Indian expects the child to support them in the retirement, and if you see, this is very very I can say slowly it's fading away, because kids have their own I can say aspirational, you have their own way, and we cannot come into the part of it. So let us say our parents itself, of course, we were privileged, so they were staying next to us, but our kid itself has gone abroad for studying and then they started working there. Now, I don't know she will come or not come, but I'm not expecting somebody to come and we should go there or they should take care or they should come here and take care. So we can't expect all those things. So we have to be self sufficient. And I keep telling people, if they do, we have a bonus. But as independent, we have to take care of our health and the regular income. The another things which I have learned recently, of course, I have lost my parents within 11 months, both of them, last few months back itself. And that's another thing I've learned and which I've been telling everybody. I did for retirement planning for one of the aunties yesterday. She was 74, 64. And she says, Rachna, I need only 50 to 60K. I said, that's fair enough. But you have to realize, because you are staying all alone, and he also lost the husband few months back. So I said, you have to make sure that you may take a elder care, and that's a new thing has come, because we used to have it for our parents, and each time we used to pay around 30 to 32,000 per month for each elder care for a mom separately and dad separately. When you start doing so, those are the point we have to consider when you're doing retirement also. So maybe I'm hale and healthy till 70, 75, but above that, if my kids are abroad and I'm all alone, so I have some person who to take care of my 24 by 7 if I need to. So those escalations on the money also we need to consider. Yeah, this is another point. Only 18% of Indian investors think of retirement. Very very surprising, because of course this trend has changed, at least I can say in our customer group. So our customer group is very minuscule to the population of India or whatever, but I can tell you the trends are changing, because the highest priority now is kids education, and mainly abroad, because it's costing 2 crores 3 crore kind of it in the undergrad, and then masters around 1 crore. Second is about retirement. Third trend, which has changed quite a lot over the next last 4 months, 4 years, I can say, is a vacation, which is a longer vacation. People previously, including us, we used to have a vacation, normally 3 nights, 4 days kind of it, wherever we go. And a lot of time people have started doing in India, abroad, 15 days, 1 month for going as a road trip, going for hiking, biking, going quite a lot on different longer, means New Zealand, Australia, US kind of it. That's another things which is happening. So these numbers are very alarming. 18% is too less to think about that we are not talking about retirement. So retirement, so if you see the how personal finance works, personal finance is actually financial planning which takes care of your all the goals. It can be just to name it, like a education, undergrad, masters, making of assets, house, car, and you can have vacations. Somebody can have their own personal things, quite a lot customized to them, because yesterday somebody called me and he says, Rachna, I wanted to plan for my dad's 60th birthday, which is there. Somebody told me that okay, their daughter is going for professional tennis, I wanted to spend that much money. But I'm saying most of the time retirement comes the either first or a second. So that is a subset of the financial planning. But today I am just going for the talking about retirement, which is a part. So setting of a goal. So when we do a financial planning, we actually take one by one goal and then do the same, taking care of the smart, whatever you call the goals. That's a very, very well known. That's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timing. For example, specific is you can say, I'm 50, so I can say at age of 55, I want to retire. Measurable means I wanted to spend around a lakh per month. So when I'm the same lifestyle, if I wanted to continue at 55, what should be achievable? Then I have to see to make sure I should have a 1 lakh a monthly, which is inflation link from 55 years old. I'm just giving a guess. I don't know. Of course, when I'm doing the calculator, we can calculate. I may require around 4 crore. So is it I have already built the what you call corpus and then can achieve by 55, 4 crore or 5 crore? Or I have enough money in 5 years to make sure that I achieve. So that's achievable or not achievable. Because we do have a many different models in retirement. We have a step up model. We can have the reduction in the expenses. You can have the inflation less. So you have different model to see how it can be achievable. Then realistic, like a one customer came and he says, Rachna, I want 8 lakhs a month. And I said, what you will do 8 lakhs a month? Is it you're going to eat gold? So I was just kidding them. So he says, no, I have that much expense. Then Anil came and told me, why you put your head, sometimes somebody wants at legs, you have to just do the thing. I said, okay. And of course, he has the money and he was able to do it. But sometimes it's very curious for me to find out what he will do with 8 lakhs because I'm not able to visualize that kind of it. But you have to start thinking, is it realistic or not realistic? So sometimes it's not, I have a corpus, I should spend 8 lakhs. You can do a better things also. So we try to see what is a realistic part of it. And it is a timing. Very, very important that we are able to do the time based. So you can't say that, okay, I don't have that much money, so you have to work till 75 years. So there's a small video. Please let me know if you are able to hear.
We plan and save for all our goals. But what about retirement? 92.6% of working population in India is not covered under any formal pension system. Earning age is reduced due to increasing focus on higher education and desire to retire early. Life expectancy is increasing, and so as medical expenses. This makes the retirement planning the most crucial financial goal. Combination of SIP and SWP of mutual funds can help you to create your own retirement plan. Let's see how. If you start investing rupees 5,000 monthly at the age of 25 through an SIP in equity mutual fund, your retirement corpus would be rupees 1.54 crores. You can switch it to debt mutual fund and start an SWP. With expected return of 6% CAGR, your monthly withdrawal through SWP would be rupees 77,024. When you want to stop receiving it, you can also withdraw the entire corpus. Key to create your own pension-like monthly cash flow is to start early. If you delay your investment by even 1 year, your retirement corpus would be 1.36 crore and monthly withdrawal amount through SWP will reduce to rupees 68,486 monthly. To receive fixed monthly cash flow after retirement, start planning for your retirement with the help of SIP and SWP now. Mutual.
So this, as it says, it can be mutual fund or it can be any other bucket. So we have to realize, you can think of, I always says, it's like a money tree. You have to put the water, you have to put the manure, you have to continuously take care of it, remove the weeds, and it should grow. And after some time, it keeps giving you a year on. The same thing works on any of the financial goals. You can't expect that I'm putting today and do. So when I go for the quite a lot of MBS college or the college for their, they have a 2 marks credits for the 40 hours of course. So one of the course in wealth management I go, and most of the kids will come to me, and that's another energy level it is. So I love to go, and of course it's difficult to manage, but yes, I love. So I have been doing that. So when I go, most of the people says that Ma'am, you just let us know how to make the money double in a year. This question comes to me so often. And I don't know, I should laugh that time or I cry that time. So, but I say, if I knew anyone who can make the double the money every year, actually, I will be next to the Mukesh Ambani or somewhere else. Why the hell I'll come here and teach you? So, thing was not on a joking side, but I'm trying to tell you may have a 1 year, 2 years, some funds or some stocks has given, but you have to look the holistic, the longer thing, and most of the time I go as a data. I go for the fact and figures. I don't go like, okay, this my fund is doing good. Of course, we also have a PMS. It's giving a 43% returns last 3 years. But one customer came and told me, why you will give me 35% return? And I said, no, I will not give it to you. You have any other funds, you can go. So he got really annoyed that how you can deny me. I said, because your expectations are wrong. It's almost most of the people, they see the past returns and then they take it. You have to realize that the past, first of all, it says very fast that past return is not guarantee for future, but you have to see that how the nifty or any benchmarks are happening on 5 years or 10 years perspective. So if 5 years or 10 years, if you see the Nifty itself, 10 years rolling is between 12 to 14%, depending on what type cycle, market cycle you're doing, is a bull or a bear or the medium or whatever it is. So expectation at 12 to 14% is always good to look at in our equity side. And when you see the number of 14% XIRR or year on year, or you can say Y on Y, CAGR is amazing. It's mind-boggling numbers. So financial planning, I'm just running fast to tell you because it's not the session for financial planning. Risk management, take care of a good health cover, good term cover, especially have lot many learning for me, trying to tell people if you have a loans, if you have a dependent people on you, take 2 3 crores because that's very less and you are a, I can say, peace of mind, you will do that. Contingency plan, have a 6 months of your whatever expense in a monthly you do into that. Goal is, as I told you already, and I'm going to take care in the retirement of this time. So what are the smart investment strategies? The smart, or you can say alternative, it's a new words of communication, but I always believe in my thought because I am following the same, and that's the only reason people say, "What is your thought on your webinar when you do?" And how I don't go through any other people's webinar or the YouTube or something, so they keep giving me some XYZ name. They may be amazingly good, I don't know, but I am telling the difference between my and anybody maybe is because I give only two things. One is the live customers, what I have been doing and learning from them, and second thing is what I do for myself. So I believe if I'm doing for myself, it's working for me, it should work for you. So that's the two concept I run in my webinar. So it is very clear what I have learning as a maybe as a course, it can be as a research, that the data I'm trying to put it across. But the difference is always a live customer. So you can think of even the similar topic, if you go through the YouTube, will be the different because my customer whom I'm, even though I'm not naming, I know that whom I'm talking about, the customer, that customer's story will be the different. So when we are talking about smart strategies, our first is budgeting. Most of us fail to learn or fail to achieve our one of the goals of financial part is budgeting. And this is also again one of the learning for last year for me. Last year, one of my goal was to make sure that I make 5 women financially independent. And that goal, I started thinking, okay, I went to the social media webinar and anything that I wanted to do. And if I'm not wrong, 40 or 49 people apply for it. Then I said, I can't do mentoring of 49. Then I said, I gave that homework to them for, tell me why I should mentor you. So 7 reply came. So I said, okay, I'll take a 7 people. When I take a 7 women to start doing, I think so all of them attended once, second only 2 attended, and then didn't happen. Why? Because I asked a second session will happen only when they start writing the budget month on month. and nobody enter the budget writing. So expense writing and budget writing, you have to see that it's very, very easy. You all have a app system. I'm not a very tech oriented or mobile oriented person. I write it in Excel. I've been writing for last 30 or maybe 35 years, the time I was in degree. But that is amazing too. I can tell you, when you start writing budgeting, it is like a 30 to 40% of your expense will come down automatically. This is a testimonial for our daughter because that's what I have seen last 2 3 years back. She, of course, because I do, so I have given to our kids and they also do. So she used to write it. We used to give her pocket money, and she came to me and saying that, "Mama, my highest money is going in a taxi." Then I said, "What I can do? If you are going, you have to find yourself." So she said, "Okay, I'll go to the share taxi." Then she tried sometime again share taxi. Her expense was still going, and because all these app will give you the buckets also, so she said still it is going high. Then what she, so it's like this. She is finding her own and trying to find the solution her own, and that's where I'm saying it is going to be very happy because you will see those solution coming from yourself. Everybody knows the answer. Only thing is sometimes we don't implement. So she said, okay, now I should start using the public transport. Then she started saying, okay, I'll go from here to the auto, take the metro, and closest place I do an auto. And then she was able to save 40%. So same thing happened. So when you write an expense, it's like I keep telling people, it's like a writing your weekly reports to your boss. Actually, boss doesn't need the weekly report or a cadence report or anything. They know themselves. This is always good for you to say what you have done and what is pending. It's a self realization, and that's very important when we start doing anything. It can be retirement planning, it can be financial planning. Start writing expense and budgeting. Next part is very, very clear on link investment to the goals. Very surprised when I meet somebody who says, no, I get a salary and then whatever leftover only I put it in investment. But the best way is to always, I do at least 25 to 30%, but I'm saying minimum 20% of your income must go for the investment first. Okay. And then you start expanding. So I'll tell you, this is a very nice, proud mother kind of feeling, but yes, it is a debate on the thing. So our daughter is doing a Singapore masters, and she's going to start her first job. And she says, this is my money and this is what I'm going to get. This is my expense. So I am not able to save 20%, mama, what I should do. And I started feeling, yes, it has gone to the next level. She's learning. And she says, okay, these are the place I will cut the expenses and then I will invest. So that's a very nice feeling that before first salary comes, somebody is able to start thinking on those lines. And I had no doubt about it. I'm staying alive or not. She will be able to achieve all her goals because that concept of 20% saving is there. Because most of us, sometimes we give the number, okay, I'm earning, let us say 1 lakh, so I'll save 20,000. But when 1 lakh has become 30 lakhs, you are still showing into 20,000. That's why the percentage of saving is more important than the value. So that is the one thing. Whenever you are doing a strategy, whenever you are doing a planning, please try to have a percentage and link to the goal. Okay, this money I'm going to, like her whole time thing is that I want to travel more. Okay, out of 20%, 10% I wanted to put it in travel. 5% I will try to do, she says, for other certification, what I want to learn. 5% I will do for the whatever goal. So I'm saying find your goal and link. When you start linking the goal, I can bet you will never redeem it. Otherwise, you're just investing, okay, I need some money, let me start doing it. And this is the one thing most of us are not able to achieve what we want. So somebody says, okay, these people have so many stories of exponential or compounding effect. How many of us has seen those? Because we don't keep that fund or keep the money for 20, 30 years. Everybody knew Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's portfolio, but everybody didn't become Rakesh Jhunjhunwala because he didn't have a one stock keeping for 20, 30 years. So that is the learning what we have to learn from others. Third most thing is have a less debt. Here, debt, I mean the loans. Most of the time, whenever we are looking, we take it alone, and then we became a burden, and then the decision making is becoming a tough, and that is creating a lot of issue in our overall level. So I do counseling. I have been tied up with the person who does the counseling on the overall level and the health level, and because she wants somebody, she said my most of the customers are issue on the health because of the financial crisis, so why don't you tied up with me? So I said okay, so I am start just because of to help others, that's what my core point is, so I started doing that. And when I'm doing that, you will surprised to know, because of a financial crisis, the health and the mental illness is also going high. So that is the one thing. Most of the time when I spoke, I have only four people I'm doing that side. So when I'm doing there, it's either their loans are having an issue or they are not able to manage what money they have. So in both the cases, all the four cases, I will see the budgeting, and if they have taken the debt, it will be very, very easy, and they will not have a, I can say, health issue also. So try to do that anytime, whatever you have money, make sure your EMI should never go above 40%, because otherwise you will have a decision and independent problem on those sides. So last, second last is long term. That's another things. People will say, and this is a very recent happen. I don't know. I think so 1.5 months back, somebody came and told me that I have a huge amount, can be means in 3-digit crores kind of it. And that person says, Rachna, I wanted to invest in 1 year. How much money you will give me? And I said, how come I can tell you how much money I'll give you? I said, for 1 year, first of all, I don't take a customer, because if less than 1 year, I will keep it in a debt. Debt you can do yourself. So you don't need to come to me anyway. So he's telling, you know how much money I'm giving. I said, whatever money you are giving is useless for me, because I cannot predict in 1 year. And for 1 year customer, I will not give more than a debt funds. So debt funds is always give you around 6 or 7%. For 6-7%, you don't need an advisor. You can do it. So of course, that's another thing I have been learning. Whenever I say no to somebody, people get very annoyed kind of it, or I don't know, ego kind of it. But my intention for them is a concept. So we have to look long term. I maybe 1 year must have given 20%, 30% returns of the market, but I don't know. And we never gave investment to the any customer, even they are staying for 5 years, or if the goals are less than 3 years, because you cannot do the investment by chance. Ki, okay, if market goes high, I will give you this. If market goes down, you cannot achieve your goals. So most of the time, below 3 years, we normally play safe with the debt, or maximum we may go as a hybrid funds. So long term is the another way to look at. So anybody, because long term, if you see any of the research over 8 year, 9 years, the risk levels goes drastically low, and your power of compounding works the well. So for me, it's very clear. Any customer who comes, I have a list to say no to the customer, then take the customer. Because why person will come to me, they may have 100 reasons, but I also should have at least 5 reasons to take that customer in. I don't take a small or short duration customers, because I am not an expert, neither we believe. Our thought in the right horizon is to guide you to achieve your financial goals, and goals are for long term. Short term goals, I'm sure there are hajar people in this market who will take it. It is 10 crore, 5 crore, or 100 crore, whatever it is. We don't take it. So why we didn't take it? Our, I can say, concept is to look long term, achieve your goals, then playing on the short term. So do long term. Retirement is always a long term, because by the time we start around, people seriously at least start investing by 28 to 30. So our triggers for serious is either they get married, or they have a kid, or they have just crossed 30. These are the three places where I have noticed, at least from our customers and their kids and other bases, when they started investing. So, and then on an average, people normally says they will work till 50 to 55 before they start payouts. So you have a good amount to start looking at the long term and do that part. Manage risk, very, very important. Again, learning from all the people, it's a part and parcel of it. Somebody came, very big surgeon in one of the big hospital, came to me and saying that Rachna, I have money, I wanted to invest. I said, good. Then she says, actually, I don't like to take risk. I said, that's also good because I don't have time. I go most of the time 15 to 18 hours in hospital. I said, okay, I know. Then I said, what you're expecting? So she told, if I'm not wrong, around 15 to 18%. And that was a time I don't know, I should laugh or I cry because somebody is telling, I don't want a risk and want a 15 to 18% risk. So you have to understand how to understand manage risk very, very well. There is nothing called no risk. There is always a low risk. The low risk is indirectly talking about government bonds, which is around 5.5, 6% odd. And that is the least risk because there is very rarely it happens that government bond got haircuts. Otherwise, 99.9% are safer because they will go in another, if maturity come, it will go to the another bonds where they will pay across. And the highest risk is always equity. And equity, if you take the, as I told you, Nifty 10 years, it should be around 12 to 14% returns. That should be your thought process when you're managing risk. These facts and figure is for you to start thinking. It's been taken by, as I told you, research report has given by JP Morgan and Sun Life. These I'm trying to just go fast forward. I will take 10 more minutes before I take the question answers. When they are doing the retirement planning is also, it's the next level of people say is a legacy planning. When you do the retirement and after that, why you wanted to give to the next. So here is what people look at when you're thinking of retirement. This little bit on a non-financial side also. What value and life lessons you wanted to give to the another generation? What are the wishes you have it? Third is real estate and, of course, financial assets and personal profession, emotions, and their significance, how you do it. So, if you see the 94% always says they're having a family friend to the loved ones. So, this is the definition of how you wanted to do, making positive impact to the society. That's the second way. Being a successful in career, accumulation on wealth, and to be famous, that's of course very less. What you think, how you will define that, okay, my retirement or legacy is being in order. Normally people don't do it. I have gone through, I'm telling you, it's okay. I used to tell my mom and dad to write it, and in their olden mind they used to think that I'm not going to die now, why I should write it. And still after 5 months we are struggling to have a legal hire. Actually my brother is in US, somebody has to come, power of attorney, signature. Still we are not able to close any of the financial because my brother is not there. So if the will or trust is there, it is much easier. So please try to say, when you love somebody, you don't want somebody to go through so many issues also. So it is good. It's not necessary. I have written it. I am saying so many customers, I keep telling, it's you can change will anytime. There's nothing wrong. But you write it because we don't know tomorrow I'm alive or not alive. So please do that. Write will or trust to make sure that things are taken care. Documents. Day before I was talking to another customer. Their PAN name, sequence, the Aadhaar, the passport, all three are changed. All three, and we are struggling to open something because now we have to go back and change three places. So that's another things when you think of having an order in a retirement and other things, please take care of all those things. Talk to your people, friends, whoever it is. Financial planning advice, the three essential is right will, health is very important, and who will be taking care of your attorney. The persons, these are the, as I told you, these are the data and the research given by that. They said who are the two people they can trust is normally a family friend in the financial profession. So most of our in our office, our customers, I can say you that when they've written a will, either me or Anil will be either a witness or the executor. So most of the people, they say when they're going even for a little bit of adventurous vacation, they call us before going, Rachna, I'm going. If something happens, please take care of this. So I always sometimes get scared till they come back. Is it all fair and all? Of course, that's a little bit of we all, it's for our customer. All customers are friend and friends are customers. But yes, it is very difficult. But most of the time, financial professions do have this part of it. This is another thing in abroad, they use the word 4%, but in India, we try to use 6%. The reason is when you are going to have a retirement corpus, that's a way we also calculate that what is the amount you should look at corpus when you are looking over the period, how much return. So somebody called me recently, when you are looking at 12% of the equity, why don't you start paying out from the 12% instead of taking at the 8%? So sometimes people don't understand the concept of your risk. Very important. You have to start reducing risk when you start doing payout. You can't say the market is crash, I cannot pay you out. So things are, this is called, abroad is called 4% rule. In India, we call a 6% rule when you're trying to spend it across. Very important how long you wanted to plan. It's called longevity. Longevity on a natural death is linked to the heredity. You can think of your family, mother side who have lived the longest, and then start thinking of how you can invest in your portfolio. Very important. Slowly as the payout comes, your debt and equity ratio keeps changing. We make it at 50-50 as soon as the payout works. Then as soon as you start closing 70-80, then it keeps changing the asset allocation and the thing. Have the money confident. A lot of time people says what are the things for the last rites. And so people, I remember my mom, even in ICU, she was very clear that I wanted my last journey should be this kind of it. So it is change the condition, you have to take care. These questions, please ask to yourself, what is the family budget? Is it I'm able to take care? I have enough or not? What is the capital my earnings? So most of the time, our one of the intention is the capital should not lose. What is the inheritance I have to give? What are the factor of rising cost and inflation I should take care? Tips for retirement when we do it, we always say is keep 3 to 6 months, as I told you, emergency or contingency fund. Have very good health cover. I'm talking again very so many times because yesterday 74 years old person told me that I have only 3 lakhs of insurance cover, and he was not well 1 year back and he spent 12 lakhs. So sometimes he says I thought 3 lakhs was enough. Even for the top up, nowadays top up is allowed, it's cheap, but all your room rate, ICU rates, everything is linked to your base health cover. Take, I normally says if you can afford it, please try to take minimum 10 and maximum to get anything, but at least 25. Take a good insurance cover. If you have a debt, you have dependency, please do take care. Take care of provident funds. There's another person whom I met, and she's not working. PF is not giving it taxable. She didn't redeemed it. So please take care. I know PF is good, but if it is inactive, you don't get the taxability part of it. So it's not a tax free. So please try to do that part. Make sure there all the loans and everything is being clear. If it is not clear, add that part also till you're clear in your expense list, and then make sure that you are able to pay the EMIs and other things. Most of the time, people don't take a pre-tax, post-tax. Of course, if you are looking income of, I'm just trying to say monthly 1.5, 2 lakhs, you will be in 30% even after that retirement or alternative income. So you need to take care of taxation. Simplicity. So I was talking to that auntie. I said, of course, she was having much more than what she needs. So I said, I'm just going to do for you is only 3 things: tax efficiency, simplicity of your all the, you can't have 8 bank account, 5 this and all. Make a simple and one single portfolio, which will make sure that you will achieve the things till 100 years. Set a retirement goal, make sure we are ready, and then create a roadmap. Of course, this is just a strategy to make the retirement corpus. There is another way how you pay out till 85, 95. That's a different thing. But this is the overall things. When we are doing the retirement, we sometimes forget we take a 6% inflation, but lifestyle index and inflation is much higher. You will start seeing that things what we used to do before versus now is a lot of different. The percentage of increase is very high. So that's another things. I have spoken with so many people. This is Rachna, I have purchased, but I have not used for 6 months, 9 months, and all. So please don't do buy because some sales are going on. So try to understand how the things works. Very important part of it. The expenses may change approach, as I told you, to make it realistic. We can increase, decrease depending on overall level. Inflation, market, health, and longevity risk have to taken care. I have already explained in advance. Retirement equation things very important. This slide is what is in your control, what is not in your control. Lot of time when people come to me, what is not in my control or their control, they want it in control. You can't do that. You can't say, ki, okay, I'll get 30% market return. First of all, I don't know because of my thinking, market is not going high and low. The policy on taxations or will or succession law is not under my control. So those things we cannot, like if somebody told me, I have my inheritance, my dad's house. Can you consider that in that? I said, it's nice, 99% you may get it. But till it is come to your house, I will not consider in the plan. Your dad has a full 100% will to write it somebody else also. So something which is not in control, please don't consider. It's good to get a bonus. There's nothing wrong in getting a bonus, but don't have it. Asset allocation saving is always in your control. So employment earning on the duration and longevity, it's some control. You cannot have that. Key, I will get 20% hike. You don't know. You may get it, you may not get it. So things try to have in your mind, we will know what you can do it with the assumption, and then we will try to put it across. Very important part, how we will structure. We have to see which is my basic stable spending. You can think of variable and then you can look out for the legacy, how you can try to do that part of it. These are the outcomes, how we start giving to the things. As I told you, this is the next level of the portfolio when we do the any of the cash flows. Don't do these five mistakes. These are the things which you have to take care of. Unrealistic expectations, not setting the goal, not following the asset allocation, not consulting the expert. I'm not saying that you should always do. Sometimes I always feel it's like a um, financial doctor. We go to the doctor, somebody gave a prescription. If you're not following, there is no point. You will just go ahead. So you have to make sure, have a faith, and do it across to make sure all these things are being taken care. Inflation is the another things people don't do it. Please try to do it. Yesterday, another person came as a vendor to me and he says, you know, Rachna, this person, I don't want to name the company, told that they are getting a 13% return in this pension plan. So something I always go as a concept. I said, without fail, I know somebody is not communicating right. And I said, what? Because when I asked, okay, give me the fund, and that is a deferred pension. You pay now, after 10 years, you will start getting the payout. So when you pay, I'm just giving an example, like you're paying 100 rupees and you started getting, let us say, 110 rupees after 10 years. So they says, oh, I'm putting 10 rupees, which is more than 10%, and you are getting the money. But I said for 10 years, they should do XIRR. And when I did XIRR, it was 5.4. So sometimes I feel that way of communication is not telling the truth, is not telling the lies. It's an absolute returns. Fair enough, but you didn't do the XIRR. Be clear. When I don't blame anybody, I always says you have a chat GPT, you have Google, please try to find it out instead of blaming somebody of mis-selling. These are the funds which do very good. Guaranteed plan, which is tax-free, has been doing amazingly. Tax efficiency, liquidity, age and accumulation duration should be considered when you are doing a retirement planning. I'll just spend around 5 minutes before I'm taking a little longer than my time for the Excel. I'll just do this Excel and then take the question answers. Can you see my Excel?
Yes, ma'am, we can see.
So this is what I was telling. I need a 1.5. So let us say 1 lakh. So I'm making a little big so you all can see, because I'm going to tell the formula. There's nothing called in this rocket science. I'm taking inflation of 6. Let us say age of 30 or 35, and person want to retire at 55. So what we are doing, the 1 lakh on as on today value is becoming 4 lakhs 30,000 approximately when the person is going to retire. So what I'm doing, I'm just doing simple formula called future value. taking inflation at 6%. So from, I can say pension when he want to start, the retirement age versus current age is 25 years. Today's value of expense is 1 lakh. That's the present value. So it will become 4.29. So when he retires, he should have almost 12 crore rupees in his portfolio to make sure that he will get 1 lakh equivalent of as on today value from his 55th year till 85 years, which is inflation linked at 6%. Okay. So I am going to tell this formula how this is arrived. So I will tell you how 1.88 has come. 1.88 is actually called real rate of returns, RRR. So RRR is, I'm expecting 8% returns and I'm expecting 6% inflation. In a without formula, you can think it's a 2%. Okay. So it's an arbitrage of 2%, or it's a difference between those at 2%. Because I'm writing a formula, it's becoming 1.88 divided by 12 because I want a monthly. Then I have taken here 85 as a longevity. You can take any longevity depending on your mother side, any of the people who have stayed the longest. So here the person is from 85, wanted to retire at 55, into 12 is 360 months. And when he was trying to retire at 55, if you notice, it was 4,29,000 per month he has to start. So for doing that, the person required a 11 crore will come. So the formula for 1.88 is your return minus inflation divided by 1 plus 6%, which is inflation linked, is called 1.88. So if you say this, it will become 1.88. Okay. So if you required 11 or 12 crore when you're going to retire, if you have a 1 crore as on today, is equal to 12 crore after 25 years. If you wanted to do 25 years returns, you have to invest around 8,85,000 per year, or you required 73,000 as the SIP. So that's a way we can do it. Of course, in this, it's not, I've taken a simple formula calculation, but when we do the retirement corpus, we do much, much more, because we will take care of your PF, PPF, you have a guaranteed pension income, you may have a rental, you may have all those things. We combined everything and then try to add it across how much you require to do it. With this, I will just go to the summary section and take the question answers. And this is just a power of compounding. I'll skip this because this is my favorite of all, that we should have a discipline and patience. Thanks to my parents being an army, I have been having a good discipline. But if you have that and think long term, there is no second doubt that you will not achieve any of your goals. So this is the last video of power of compounding.
If you want to go around the earth and start with 100 meters on the first day and double the distance every day, how long do you think it will take? 1 year? 10 years? Let's find out. Within 19 days, you would have covered 39,321 kilometers, while the equatorial circumference of Earth is about 40,075 kilometers. You would have traveled around the world in less than 20 days. But what if you stopped after 10 days? You would have hardly covered a little less than 77 kilometers. This is the power of compounding. Power of compounding can help you to create a great wealth as well. How to leverage the power of compounding for maximum benefit? Start early and invest regularly. Nisha invests rupees 5,000 every month since the age of 25, while Nilesh invests rupees 7,000 every month since the age of 35. By the age of 60, both would have invested 21 lakh rupees. Assuming a return of 12%, Nisha will accumulate 2.75 crore rupees, while Nilesh will get only 1.19 crore rupees, which is 59% lesser than Nisha's wealth. This is why starting early is important. To create a wealth, start an SIP in equity mutual fund and remember to avail the power of compounding, staying invested for long term.
So these are the most of the time people use for retirement, like a PF, EPF, PPS, and PS bond. I will not recommend pension plan. I will recommend that guaranteed plan. What people have equity funds, utilize the equity fund till you're doing, because to accumulate more and then convert. FDs for a contingencies and others something. With this, I'm happy to take the questions, Sanjay.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. We already having few questions in the Q&A section. We can take it.
Okay, so
Also request all the participants, you can write down the questions and queries in the Q&A sections and we will be taking.
it is advisable to keep the NRI FD in one bank or should spread. Doesn't matter as long as it doesn't have the limit, but you can keep it. I normally says as long as it's not in cooperative banks or something, it works. There's no things, but I always says in FDs you should keep only for contingency, but NREs it's a tax free, so it's better to do that. Instead of keeping in NREs FD, max interest is 8 is advisable. Yeah, so coincidentally, yesterday I was talking to another person who was from UAE, wanted to come to India. So we said it, if you wanted in a debt and you are taking a tax benefit as a non-resident, try to do it. It's a better. So we took it till you take a tax benefit and you're keeping as a debt, it makes sense. But if you are looking for an equity side, it's always better to have a mutual fund, because even after long-term tax, you will be still better than the FDs. With the current market peak every day, chasing returns is only behind equity fully. It is not scary or fearful on it to say everyone is greedy. Is it not greedy situation all around us? It depends on Madhusudan what you look at. I never see as a greedy, because our work for people is to just teach the how to be not fearful or greed. I believe if we know how not to be, people will be able to achieve. People, I don't like somebody comes and tell me, okay, I want a 23%, your fund is giving 40% and all. And I says, my plan, my cash flow, your financial plan, I am taking only 12 to 14. So why worry? So you have to be very careful on what you are looking at. The people who looks performance, I can tell you with my experience, they are not able to achieve, because they look performance, they keep exiting, entering and all this stuff, and at a long term, they don't. So according to me, is it not a greedy situation all around us? Maybe yours, but not mine. Uh, Rahul in Hindi, I don't know. I can speak Hindi. I myself is North Indian. If you ask me a question, I can answer it. Uh, there is too much force of bubble accumulating in the market, bringing, yes, both the US market, we are very bearish, and Indian, we are very bullish, but short term, there is an expectations. But coincidentally, US market also have election this year. So I was there and I spoke with everybody, and whoever I spoke has the same question till they are sustaining somehow the bubble for the October. October is actually November is their elections. So we can't do it. As I told you in the one of the slide, what is not in our hand, why to worry? Actually, you will surprised to know most of the people, I don't follow the market. I never see in the market, because my work is to take care of asset allocation, take care of the goals, and that's it. My looking at the market is not going to increase or decrease anything. So we have a people who are the fund management side, who is the research side, they are looking and they are taking. So I don't look. I don't. Sometimes customer comes and tell me, okay, market went up. I said, oh, is it? I don't know that also, because the slide says which is not in my control. I don't want to spend time, money, energy in that. Today's hello, ma'am. I am 49. I have 9 years to retire. I have 23 lakhs in PF. I want to move 50% of NPS for better returns. It depends. I always say NPS is giving you tax benefit if you are in a corporate NPS. So with the tax benefit, it is still better. So if you are taking the maximum NPS things, then please continue. More than that, you need not to do the NPS. Same slide in the past 30 years, not sure. As I told you, most of the things what I use it is indirectly I have 10 or different presentation I use. The stories are different, so maybe possible. I'm not sure what you're talking about. How to create SWP at the time of retirement? As I told you, there are two different things. One is a cash flow to accumulation, and one cash flow is a how to give a payout. And this session was how to accumulate, and the cash flows maybe the next one I'm doing. Please join. We will try to do that. Any risk to wash out my capital at this? So yes, there are sometimes customer told me you do SWP from equity, you will have a washout from there. So that's one of the reason when you do SWP, we should take care from the debt funds. Is it important to have an executor? Yes, there is a mandatory that you should have, and otherwise, without executor, the will is no valid. So who should be? Actually, there's another thing I wanted to tell. The executor and witness doesn't read the will. We just sign it, and you will be telling to the people, or that if something happens to me, you will tell to the family member and all. An executor will tell, and if something goes wrong, then the witness has to come and tell that they were in the sound health when they signed the will. Can multiple dates SIP in the single month instead of single date? Actually, I have not done this research, but this research is done by many other advisors. It is not making much difference, but we normally say that's okay to have the 3 to 4 different dates on SIP. But the research says it is not making much difference. So I always say is that because there is another research says that if you take a different dates and it is a later point of a time, most of the time people who are salary, it is insufficient. It comes and actually you lose more money because you don't have a money in the thing. So I'm just giving example. Date people take first, fifth, seventh, 10th, 15th, 25th. These are the normal dates people takes it. So if you see after 10th, there is people say that normal people salary stay till 15 days. So if you're taking after 15 and your money is not there, then it will lose much more. So most of the time I say take between 1, 5, 10 is a good 3 days to take it across. How to approach unknown people about retirement? I'm not sure what is the question, but normally people comes and ask for the retirement. Either they have going to retire or they wanted to plan for retirement. We never go for ask for the retirement. On retirement at the 60 with the medium level, how much one should allocate? Normally, when you start doing a payout, you should do a moderate risk with 50-50. Is it advisable to wind up real estate investment via plot for an RI, as there is no yield, capital appreciation, liquidity? So this is whoever this person is, I don't know. You are actually on the right direction because the trends are saying people consolidate the real estate or fixed things and converting because kids are abroad and they won't come and do it. But the only thing is when you're NRI, you have to make sure that otherwise 20% TDS first and then they will take care. Most of the people are doing what you are telling and it has been happening. It's good to do that. I'm 35. I'm investing in the market with a different tool of SIP, mutual fund, stock, using different tools. Market is fine. So, uh, should go for land, flat property. I don't think so. You are young. I think so. Other than the lot of time, this property flats and all are emotional. So I say that you take one for your own stay. Rest you should do with liquid, and that's what I have it with me. We have only one, and rest we have putting in equity. Way to invest lump sum money amount for 10 years, depending on you, and amount quantum, I don't know, but even if you want anywhere in equity works, equity can be in mutual fund, it can be PMS, it can be anywhere else or direct equity. We normally says to the customer, SIP create a good corpus, and if it is lump sum, we put it in PMS. I diversify the equity 50-50% mostly in the PMS and mutual funds. How much amount should save for retirement? 240 per month or per annum, I don't know. If you can tell me, I'm not sure of this question. 2.4 lakhs, you mean? Or I think so. Sanjay has given. If you can give me one to one, because I will take the another questions and answer you later. Is it advisable for an RI to hold money in dollar versus investment? As of today, dollar, of course, you can do it. There's nothing wrong. But if you wanted to invest, you can do through NRE. Indian is expected to do a multi bull run this next decade, so it's good to do. Can you share the Excel? Yes, we will be able to share it, and Sanjay will take care of that. So I'll take the last five questions now. I'm 35. I'm invested in a market with a different tool. I think so. I've taken this already. Is there any risk of doing SIP? Like after 20 years, all SIP is gone. I have been doing SIP for last 30 years, and everything is doing very good. Investing money through Paytm money or Grow is safe. I don't know. I have not used other, but I'm saying it should not have a problem because your money must be going directly to the AMC, or I'm talking about company which you are investing, for example, HDFC fund or ICICI fund or whatever. So should not be an issue. But if you are doing some pool of account, it is not good. Execute will and register will be good. Nowadays, single child norms, then exception. And that's another thing people ask me, I should register or not. I can tell you out of 18 odd I have been a part, only 3 of them is registered. If you think there may be some objection by somebody else, so registration is very good. Sometimes some state we felt it was not registered, so converting a fixed asset or some house to the nominee or the legal hire was an issue. So registration is good, but what happened most of the time people normally change after 5 years or 3 years. Then your registration value keeps duplicated. So I always say it depends that you wanted to register or not. But even if you have written with the executor and the signature you have told, and you feel it is not going to have an objection, that's also good. But of course, no doubt, registered is always the best way because the people whom we do as a court case, if goes, registered will has the highest level. What is the difference between guaranteed plan and pension plan? Guaranteed plans are tax free and pension plans are taxable. What is PMS? PMS is like a mutual fund, which is called portfolio management services. And the concept and everything is the same. PMS starts with 50 lakhs and mutual fund starts with the 500 rupees onwards. I am Guru Raj, who is the Right Horizon with us. Yeah, thank you, Guru Raj. I know him very well. He is my customer itself. Saving the future versus living life is a present. Have a balanced approach. And what is the financial view of young 30 years old? So I always says everything extreme is not good. So 20% savings is not going to change much, but that will take care of your few. So I always tell we are here to make sure that if you live now or you live till 90, you have the best of it. So that's the way it is.